Yo, we are back with my man Hound Dog Buck 50.
You.
Yo, there's a topic, man, and I feel like it needs to be talked about right now, man. I mean, we've talked about it through the years, but now I really have to talk about this one. We really got to talk about this one right here. Question is, here we go. Is hip hop officially dead?
Uh, yeah, who started that? That was
That
Nas,
was
right?
Nas. Yeah,
That
Nas
was like
said.
early, 2002 or
Yeah,
something.
you know when Nas said hip hop is dead, right? It was just the beginning of the end. I don't think that it was totally dead when he said it, but we saw where it was going. But now it's about like almost you're looking like 13 years later, almost about 13, 15 years later, man. And I have to ask the question: is hip hop officially? Is if it's officially dead now?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I see these old heads, they trying to keep it alive, man, by still doing the boom bap style. But come on, man, we in a different era right now. You know, I mean, what's your take? Like, what do you how you feel how you feel about today's music?
I mean, I don't know. You know what? I always kind of had a different take on it because I felt like we in a different time. And I'm gonna tell you why I say hip hop is not dead, because I look at it like if you look at the history, like well, I mean the history is different for everybody, because for somebody like me, my history was 88. Another cat, his history might be 78. So everybody's. I go back more than that, but the core of my history starts there. You know, 86, 88. Um, I look at it kind of different because I look at it like things have changed, but they haven't changed. When you look at like back in our day when we was coming up, you had Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, you know, Big Daddy Kane, all those guys. There was only a couple in the bunch that had like songs that were getting really played like that outside of the hip hop circle, and the whack people was always around. They always seemed to, when they did come around, their shit hit more in terms of sales, more than what we would call the real hip hop. Hammer. I mean, I don't consider Hammer. I never looked at Hammer in a bad way, but he wasn't your traditional hip hopper per se. Vanilla Ice, Whoop, There It Is, Tag Team, 69 Boys, 95 South. Um, you can go on and on. Those were the ones that sold the units. Uh, they weren't necessarily part of the mainstay of the culture like some of the other guys, but when those guys came out with songs, they sold more. And then there was the rebellion from the hip hop culture. The little side shots, dissing. That's not real hip hop or whatever. So I mean, I feel like things change, but they haven't changed. Even like the thing was, it was like when you had the Rap City, the MTV Raps. The difference was okay. They that was the outlet for the hip hoppers. You knew you was gonna get real hip hop if you watched Rap City. You knew you was gonna get, and you got to not, and you didn't just get hip hop, but you got a lot of the cats that you wouldn't even know about because they showed a lot of different varieties. So you got all that hip hop, whether it was Yo MTV Rap City. Okay, so then when they took Yo MTV Rap, Yo MTV went off. Okay, some people may have looked at it like it died. Then they took Rap City away. Then a lot of people was looking at like, okay, they're killing it. I think that's how a lot of people looked at it. And then they looked at the emergence of a different type of music. I don't want to say the South in a sense like I'm dissing the South, but that's how some cats from the East looked at it. Like the South took over, whether it's for the good or for the bad. And but the thing to me that made it different, that why I say it's more alive than ever to me, is one word: the internet. And the cool thing about the internet is you can just be like, fuck it, I ain't fucking with y'all. I don't like what you're playing, but guess what? I got the internet. I listen to whoever the fuck I want to listen to. If you don't like the R&B today, you don't got to be trapped to it. You can go on YouTube and get in your old school bag.
Shit, the R&B nowadays is trap.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's gotten down to the point where it's like, when you really look at it, you know, we had the rap cities, we had the basement, we had, you know, we had a lot of but then again we had networks too, you know, that would showcase the hip hop. We'd have a segment like when you had Tigger and you had Chris. You remember Chris? I forgot what's his last name, the comedian.
Yeah,
and
the mayor.
Yeah, the mayor. Then we had Fat Five Freddy. Then we had, you know, it's like we had a lot of. We even had what was her name, man? Big Legs.
Big Legs, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and we had some good times in hip hop, man, and a lot of outlets. I think the problem with hip hop today is, you're correct, the internet, but we don't have TV outlets that show hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like the hip hop that we know of, the real authentic boom bap, and what we call it, the boom bap. You know, and I feel like we're still doing that, but it's not. You know, like for me, if a Big Daddy Kane came out or a Rakim came out, I think for me personally, that's how I still want to hear them, right? But you know, when they try something new, if they're trying to like be hip to the generation of today, it'll sound off to me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not their style, and we probably be like, nah, man, that wasn't too tight, you know. So when we say hip hop is hip hop officially dead, I feel like it's transitioned, right? Like I can't call the music that they do today hip hop, but I could say that it is a child of hip hop. You know, would you more think that it's more of a child of hip hop because trap music and drill came from hip hop?
Well, you know what? It like you say, that's pretty much sums it up. It's just like if you got a child, sometimes you got a child, and honestly, the child ain't nothing like you. You know, you seen dudes like they cool as hell, and their kids is just as nerdy as fuck, or vice versa. But at the end of the day, it's still your child.
True indeed.
They didn't. If in your perfect world for you, the child wouldn't have came out like that. But it's still your child, so it's still connected, whether we like it or not. You know, it is what it is. I mean, I don't. A lot of that stuff I ain't into it, but then again, it's a new day, so I don't want to shit on it to that degree, because then it just looks like you an old dude that's just jealous or bitter. You know what I mean? I go off in my corner. I know what I like. I ain't dissing y'all. Y'all party, do what you do. I'm gonna go on YouTube, drink my liquor, and look up whoever. You know what I mean? If I want to reminisce, if I scroll through, I know I'm gonna find something new. Because to me, I think what cats look at too is they get brainwashed by the machine. And what I mean by that is, it's like if something is not promoted, then they just write it off. Mm-hmm. So if you a rapper and you got an album out, and I tell somebody, yo, it's dope, but because you ain't really nobody that made it, they just say hip hop is dead. They don't really pay attention. Now, if your shit is selling, now all of a sudden, oh, he's bringing hip hop back. Like, yo, I told you about dude 2 years ago. Look him up. Kendrick Lamar was popping before this on the internet.
5 years ago.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden we got a deal. Oh, he's bringing hip hop back. So I think a lot of cats are trained to what the media tells you. You know, if the media's, okay, yeah, these dudes are out that you may not like what they do, but go on the tube.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned in the tube, because to be honest with you, man, this younger generation is doing something that the older generation didn't do, and this is the one part where I give the younger generation a lot of credit. Now, they're making a lot of money independently on their own. Some of them don't even have a label. They just push out a song and they're making money, you know, through YouTube hits, you know, through being played on the radio. And see, the program directors, what's so funny, the DJs and the program directors, these are all old school heads. DJ Irie, DJ Khaled, DJ Funk Master Fat, all these cats, Big Boy, yo, they're playing their music. So how can the older generation complain about their music when these older guys who run these radio stations and are playing these records are playing those records, but they're in their late 30s, their 40s, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I mean, we know how it go, man. It's a big machine, man. You know, that type of radio is an infrastructure, and they got a playlist, and you know, we know how this shit goes, man. You know, so it's like you said, it's fucked up, but you know how it goes, man. You listen to the radio, you hear that song, and by the time the next DJ come in, you hear that song again. By the next rotation DJ come in, you hear that same Chris Brown song again. You know, and it's like redundancy. That's why, you know, that's a lot of people just listen to their phones or their iPods in their car. I couldn't tell you the last time I listened to the radio.
Shit, you know, I turn it on every now and then just to see what's playing. I usually turn to Hot 105 to listen to the oldie goldies. You know, that's it. That's what I pop on. But other than that, man, I mean, these cats are making money, man. Like, they making a lot of bread. Cause when you can go to a strip club and throw up 50G and make it rain, 50G, man. Like, you know what I could do with 50G? You know, back in the day, we ain't waste money like that, man. I could say, yo, we had our little the little bubbly, you know what I'm saying, the Cristal, you know what I'm saying, which is way cheaper than what these bottles are today, man. You go to a strip club nowadays today, a damn bottle like $200, $400, $500. Like, yo, what the hell I'm gonna do with that? You know what I'm saying? A cat like me who you know what I'm saying, working, and like it doesn't make any sense. But I will say this about hip hop. I think that everything has advanced. Like the DJing, they no longer use two turntables. They be using different CD or computers. You know what I'm saying, and all this different stuff. So the DJ, I can't say it elevated or it decreased. All I'm saying is that it went to a whole nother level.
Yeah, it went
right
somewhere else.
The graffiti is now graphic design. You know, you'll see you see these cats who used to do graffiti on trains and stuff. You don't see it like that. They're making money in museums and doing things like that. So even the graph art elevated into that level, right? The dancing, the break dancing and so forth. I think that elevated on a level now where it's total tournaments and competitions, and they're doing things nowadays that, you know, if these cats today went back in the day and battled those pioneers would be getting eaten up, you know, compared to the stuff that they do today, you know. Now we get down to the rapping. Now, why I'm getting down to this is because you're a battle rapper. Am I correct?
Last time I checked.
Okay, so you're a battle rapper. And I feel like battle rapping right now, as far as the competition in the leagues and stuff, right, has been the only part of the art form that has kept it authentic from how it was back in the day when it began, because it's two MCs going at each other. Except nowadays it don't really have the music, but when it first started, we didn't have the music. We would go head to head, sometimes off of the head, you know, in the park with no music. So I think that the rapping aspect of hip hop is the only last original element of hip hop that's keeping it alive. Because once the rapping is gone, bro, I don't think hip hop can survive. And then the fifth element, which is the knowledge, that's definitely gone out of the picture. You know, there is nobody dropping really any knowledge. Just and I can't really say that. I think that Kendrick, for his generation, he's doing what he's doing. You know, he's doing what he's waking up his generation to a point. They love him, whatever, but it's not enough. You know, all these other rappers ain't dropping it like that. So I think that the battle rap is the only thing that's authentic, man. And I feel like, you know, I want you to give your take on basically what's the battle rap like to you, and do you think that is about to end itself, or do you think it's about to take it to a whole nother level, or where's it at right now? Because it's been around now for, I mean, as far as the leagues is concerned, been around probably at least about like 7, 8 years.
Something like that. I mean, I don't know the exact, count. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's a little saturated, but that's gonna happen. Everything gets a little saturated, and then you gotta recalibrate and figure it out. I mean, the thing is, it's about growth. Things can't grow until certain envelopes get pushed and when certain demands are made. So when battle rappers your colleagues gotta understand that. And they gotta understand and see that the erratic change, the shaking of the boat, it's not just for that person, it's for everybody. When Loaded Lux asks for 40K, you can't be up there saying no, yes, because that means you're going to get more money. It's bigger than Lux. You know what I mean? Because now that opens the floodgates for other people to say, hey, I can get paid. You know what I mean? Muhammad Ali is the one who made heavyweights start getting them $1 million paydays. You know what I mean? Because $5 million against George Foreman in 74, that was unheard of. But that was Ali. So by the time guys like Tyson came along, that was something to be accepted, to get $1 million paydays. But somebody has to rock the boat. And when you rock the boat, that's what causes that next wave of growth. And it's like an enterprising. Because at the end of the day, everybody wins. But it's got to go somewhere else. So it's like, it's right here now, and you need somebody it's just like some people transcend their culture. And they take it somewhere else. Ali transcended boxing. LL transcended rap. Run DMC transcended. They went from hip hoppers into your mother's living room. That's when you go to the next level. When people are like, okay, I know him. Even though they don't fuck with the culture, they know that person. So battle rap need that next person that's going to be like going to movies and shit. Because when that person do it, it's like, it's bigger than him. It's a good look for battle rap, period. Because now it's giving avenues for that. Battle rap is no different than rap. It's going, to me, it's kind of similar. Where rap had its stages where it was on the corners, and then it went to the block parties, all before it went to wax. And then you had guys who made records, but they weren't necessarily big hits. Then you had Run DMC. Then you finally had the first Gold album. Then you've had Salt and Pepper. Then you finally had the first female. So it needs to be that way with battle rap too. You need to have that first guy that, so it's happening. You got Hitman Holla and Conceited on Wild 'N Out. So now it needs to be something bigger.
Now, see, and here's my study with the history of hip hop. Because you're making some good points. But here's my history with the history of hip hop. Hip hop started in like around 73, right? But it didn't really get famous to like it didn't kick in the door till around 77, 78. When Trans Europe Express, I remember, came out around 77, and then when Sugar Hill came out in 78, 79, it started something. We knew that it was big on the street way before that. But when a record was made and it was being played on the radio, that was the door that was being kicked in, right? Now here's the funny thing. So let's just start with 77, right? 77, 78. And we fast forward 20 years into hip hop. So we're passing 87 and then we stopping at 97. At 97, Biggie was killed, right? Tupac was killed the previous year, 96. That's when hip hop changed. At that 20-year mark, 97, right? Now let's flip forward another 20 years. So we're gonna go from 97 to 2007, and then from 2007 to 2017, which we're in right now. Hip hop has changed once again. You know where it's at right now. Now, if you look back at the history of it, when you know what I'm saying, when 97, the labels were still running it. You know, and they were taking a lot of money. They were making billions while they were just giving us little shillings. You know what I'm saying? When Dr. Dre and them was getting, you know, the producer always gets more than the artist anyway, but the artist was getting pennies to the dollar, right? And then when you flip up to 2007, you know, and in 2017, these cats have their own labels and they're making their own money and they're not sampling anything. They ain't giving nobody no sample clearance, none of that, because they're not doing none of that. So all 100% of the money's coming straight to them. I think that it has changed. I think that, you know, I think what it is that the hip hop as we know it, the hip hop that we know it and the way that we did it, that's officially dead, right? The only people that's keeping that alive are the people who came from that era. Once they die out, then it's completely gone. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we're coming to hip hop's end. Hip hop is coming to an end. It's dying off. You know, it's going to become something else. It's just like jazz. Like, you know, the last person I can remember in jazz is Brandon Marcellus and Kenny G. And now that we don't even hear them no more, like
that's the thing though. That's why I say I see it different, because when people say dead, people look at it dead as because it's not a hit or because it's not being pushed on the radio. But you got to accept the fact that even when we was at our height, Tribe Called Quest wasn't played on the radio. That's what I be trying to tell niggas. It's like De La Soul, until they had Me, Myself, and I, that's the only song they really had played on the radio. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so I know what people are saying. I know what you're saying, but this is just the way I look at it. I look at it like some things change, but they never really change. It's like you got some dudes that's 19, like Joey Badass. Well, Joey Badass a little different now because he got on, so he's trying to make a little more, you know, applicable music to sell. So that's understandable. But when he first came out, his music was straight hip hop. And you look at his age, you're like, okay, what made you make music like this? You know, it's a lot of kids that's like, you're like, you shouldn't even know about this type of sound.
Well, they went back.
Yeah, so that just goes to show you, like, everything is not always about the commercialism to where it's like, because it's just like reggae. A lot of times, you don't see it as much now, but there was a little stretch there where like a reggae artist would cross over and he have a little pop success. It happened with Shabba Ranks. It happened with Shaggy. It happened with Aini Kamosi.
Sean Paul.
Yeah, and then they vanished. But the thing was, they never really vanished. That pop run was over. For cats that was reggae purists, they like, Shabba ain't going nowhere. Shaggy ain't going nowhere. But sometimes it's the commercial mind. So you looking at it from a commercial mindset, but to the purists, George Benson didn't go nowhere. He's still doing jazz. But some people just know George Benson for when he went over here and had commercial success. You know what I mean? So they look at it like, once that was ended, they look at it like, I ain't heard from George Benson in years. George Benson ain't went nowhere. He went back to his core fans now that success was over. Because that's really where he was at anyway. He just crossed over and had a little run over here. You know, so I think sometimes people get it twisted. So we get a little disappointed when some hip hop don't really like sell. And we're like, ah man, fuck it, it's over. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I look at it like this. If Ghostface makes something tomorrow, I'm rocking it. I don't care if it didn't go whatever. You know what I mean? I'm still in my zone. You know what I mean? I know it. I look at it like everybody got their little thing that they do. You can't knock the young kids if that's what they like. I'm sure when we was liking whatever we like, the cats before us was like, that's garbage.
I don't knock them at all, you know, because I know that it's their time, it's their era. But one thing about the old school heads that I do agree with them on is that there needs to be a balance, because you know I don't mind they do their style, do they mumble rap, yeah, but then there has to be a balance where you know we need to hear some knowledge over here, and even if the knowledge is in mumble rap, I would rather hear it in that too. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because it's not enough of, you know, we're killing each other, man. We're dying. You know, cops is killing us, we killing us, and there's no KRS Ones of today. There's no public enemies of today. There's no ex-clans of today. You know, and I feel like in this day and time, we need that for this generation, or this generation need that, because we already had those people, and I don't expect that older generation to come back and try to make songs to show how hip they are to the new generation and show that, oh, I'm 50 years old and I can still do this. Like, you know, it's not even about that. It's just we doing it because we love it. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it should always be about. I mean, obviously, you know, you like to sell a certain amount of units, but it is what it is.
And you know, and all I can say is, man, is let music move on, because it's what makes our soul move. And I really wish that more soul can be put into the music. So on that note, this is Too Much TV, and this is Hound Dog Buck 50. You're talking to right now. Thank you for your input. Peace.